Welcome to Empowered Freedom. For more information and to connect with us via social media, visit paulctirina.com. Hey everybody, Paul C. Tirina here, nutritional therapist, self-proclaimed superhuman life coach. I am a life coach. I add the superhuman in there because we have a big movement called the Superhuman Transformation, whatever. We're really proud of that part of it. Sitting here with me is my son, Conan. Yeah, like Conan the Barbarian. And I'd like to talk to you today about allergies. So we had a great meeting last night, and I wanted to do a recap of it and see if this is beneficial for some people. I'm sure it's going to be. Allergies in general, we think about allergies, most people think about airborne allergies and the sniffles and the coughs and the sneezing and the watery eyes and the itching and all that kind of stuff, right? And that certainly is part of what allergies are, but then other people think about allergies as having allergic reactions or allergies or sensitivities to specific foods. And they all come from the same place, okay? So allergies are basically overreactions of the immune system. A lot of our immune system is located in the digestive system. And so, the intuitive solution there would be to strengthen digestion, and that's going to resolve a lot of issues for a lot of people, and that's what we see happen, okay? So if allergies are the overreaction of the immune system, then what I'd want to do is strengthen the immune system. So the first thing that you'd want to do is eat real food, learn how to eat real food. And when I say eat real food, I mean eat real food according to our definition of real food. And our definition of real food is different from what other people would consider real food, right? We're really proud of it. It's a very broad definition, encompasses a lot of real food methodologies. The big question is, what do you do well on within within our definition of real food? And then also, you have to learn to structure your eating a certain way. And we learn that when we work with us. When we work with our organization, you go through one of our challenges. All right. So real food, in and of itself, minimizes toxins, maximizes nutrients, and starts to strengthen digestion because you start to give your body what it needs to digest food, and so it strengthens itself. And so automatically we see most people, when they work with us or go through one of our progressions, start to see resolution in their allergy symptoms big time. Last night we just did a quick poll around the room, and everyone that had allergies had significant reduction in symptoms, and estimated about 50 to 60%, 70% reduction, meaning almost gone, but still they'll have some flare-ups here and there. So then you want to strengthen digestion within the context of eating real food, and we'll talk about a few of those things here in a moment. Now, things that you'd want to avoid, histamine-containing foods, and here we're talking about foods when you have symptoms or you're trying to avoid symptoms or avoid the symptoms getting worse. You want to avoid histamine-containing foods or predominantly histamine-containing foods. And unfortunately, that's going to, in large part, be some alcohols, so especially wines. And then also fermented foods, which we think are extremely helpful and beneficial over the long term. But again, if you're in a situation where you have some flare-ups with some symptoms, then fermented foods are going to maybe cause some more flare-ups. And fermented foods, we're talking about things like cheeses and yogurts, which we love, full-fat dairy products. And then also traditional fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi. Even kombucha is going to trigger some allergic reactions in some people, right? Now that doesn't mean you have to avoid those foods all the time, but in the midst of experiencing some significant symptoms or maybe going through a season that you feel like you're more prone to things, then those would be things that you'd want to avoid, right? And then also trigger foods. So for some of us, we have some trigger foods that contribute to this, including the things we just mentioned, but it's difficult for a lot of people to know what foods trigger sensitivities or allergic type symptoms in them. And so the best thing to do is remove suspect foods and then reintroduce them and see what your response is once you reintroduce those foods. All right, this is called a reintroduction diet. We do this when we work in our Superhuman Transformation 10-week progression, and we learn how to test the body. So one of the great tests that you can use, and you can learn this right now, is the Coca Pulse test, all right? So Coca Pulse test basically means that you would take a full 1-minute resting pulse before consuming a food, and then you take the food that you want to test, put it in your mouth, chew it, salivate over it, don't swallow it just yet, just hold it in your mouth. And then after 30 seconds, after you've had time to register, then take another full 1-minute pulse. And if your pulse increases by 4 beats per minute or more, then that food is considered problematic. It's putting your body in a stressful state. And the more the pulse increases, the more problematic the food. So that'd be one way to start pinpointing specific foods that cause allergic symptoms and reactions. Now, a lot of us would think that, allergens or intolerances to specific foods are not going to have much to do with airborne allergies, but they actually do. because they're set up the same way inside the body. So if an allergic symptom or allergies in general are overreaction to the immune system, it helps to understand how the immune system works. So there's a lot of facets to the immune system, but the one that we're talking about specifically is the adaptive acquired immune system, which is where we build up antibodies and we build up responses to foreign invaders. And then those responses can make the body hypersensitive to other things that it normally wouldn't be hypersensitive to. All right, so when I have a certain protein or a certain substance cross my intestinal lining that my body sees as an invader or foreign or toxic in some way, and many times it will build up an antibody or an immune response that is specific to that invader, so that in the future when I encounter that invader, I have a way to deal with it, immediately. So the problem with that is that we build up hypersensitivities to things that may resemble that invader but may not exactly be that invader. All right, so the way that things get into our system is through what we would consider a leaky gut. Now, leaky gut is getting a lot of mainstream press. It's in the scientific literature a lot now. And I think a lot of people falsely believe that either you have leaky gut or you don't. The reality is that everyone experiences leaky gut on a regular basis, depending on what kind of foods and what kind of things you're exposed to. And this isn't true for everyone all the time, but we have some staple guidelines here, and I got this from our autoimmune protocol that we put together. So foods that contribute to leaky gut are always going to be alcohol. Sometimes dairy for some people, sometimes eggs for some people. Always gluten. So in most autoimmune protocols, especially in the functional holistic realm, one of the main things to avoid, or the top thing to avoid, is going to be gluten, because gluten in every human being opens tight junctions, which is basically this area in the small intestine where we let nutrients across. And if those tight junctions are open too long or too wide for an extended period of time, then inappropriate foods and substances can cross. And gluten causes opening of the tight junctions in every single human being, whether you notice you have a reaction to it or not, or whether you have a sensitivity to gluten to it or not. All right? And then always GMOs, usually grains and pseudo grains, sometimes legumes and sometimes nightshades. Right? So those would be things to experiment with eliminating from your diet. Other things can also contribute to leaky gut. So chemicals, pharmaceutical inputs, NSAIDs, and then also stress, including work stress, relationship stress, financial stress. It doesn't matter what the stress is. Stress can contribute to leaky gut. And you should notice that your symptoms of allergies are more prominent during stressful periods and periods where you don't sleep well. And then you got to consider sleep. Sleep is huge in our realm. We find we place a big importance on sleep. And so sleep, if you're sleep deprived on a regular basis, then that's going to suppress your immune system and contribute to flare-ups of symptoms. All right? So let's talk real quick about digestion and how you can support digestion. So digestion is a north to south process, meaning that the way that I eat is just as important as what I eat. So when I prepare my own food, that's a beneficial thing, because smelling the food when I prepare it, chopping it, thinking about it, starts to initiate all kinds of digestive processes, including strengthening my upper GI and strong acidity, and that's extremely beneficial for my digestive system. And what I want is strong digestion. So when I make my own food, I actually start to contribute to strong digestion. I want to make sure that I chew my food really well, and I want to make sure that I'm calm and relaxed when I start that initial food consumption process, because I have to be in a calm and relaxed state for all my intestinal sphincters to open, and for strong acidity, and for all these different digestive juices to flow properly. All right, and then everything starts to take care of itself if you get that stuff in place. If you eat real food, you get calm and relaxed, you chew your food really well, and then you make your own food, then a lot of that stuff starts to work itself out. And then you definitely want to stay calm and relaxed for probably at least 30 minutes after eating, just to make sure that things have moved into the upper GI and acidified properly before moving into the small intestine. We always recommend training on an empty stomach. We call it training fasted. So if you do have a workout after eating, we recommend waiting a minimum of 3 hours, ideally 5 hours or more, between eating and your next workout. There's some supplements that you can take that we recommend in our realm. So one of the most popular supplements in the SuperHuman transformation in my private practice is Hydrozyme, which is a low-dose HCl product, which strengthens upper GI acidity, which is great and awesome. Right? So strong acidity is going to be crucial to digestion, and I think most people would benefit from some upper GI support. So we sell this in our office. It's a very high-quality product, and I would say it is the supplement of our practice and our challenge. Also, beta-TCP is a biliary support product, which has organic beet juices and some other cofactors that are great for bile flow, also strengthening upper GI and then the liver biliary system. So those two things together are some great supplements. And then we recommend essential oils. So, and we're talking about essential oils for supporting allergies. So let's just say that you do have some allergy symptoms on a regular basis, even within the context of, or even not within the context of doing what we recommend as far as real food. The trinity when it comes to essential oils is going to be lavender, lemon, and peppermint. And you can diffuse those and inhale them, which you're going to get a good signal but a weak signal. You can apply those topically to your sinuses, to the back of your neck, to the bottoms of your feet, and let your body absorb it, and then you get what we call systemic effects. That's going to be a little bit stronger of a signal as far as essential oils go. And then all three of those you can also take internally. Now, one thing that we recommend, especially when using doTERRA, is that you also add to that trio melaleuca or tea tree oil. And by the way, we only recommend that you use certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. Our company of choice is doTERRA. And there are a couple of other companies out there that have really great products, but doTERRA, is just our top pick, and we have a great team of support here that we use to support people that have enrolled with doTERRA. But essential oils, I'm telling you, if you're not in on these things, like when it comes to allergies, like this little trio and then adding melaleuca to it is like the freaking allergy bomb. Like it works so well. We got tons of testimonials. So the way that you would use essential oils, again, you would diffuse those as a maintenance kind of deal, or at the onset of a symptom, you can actually rub those oils on your chest, on your sinuses, on the back of your neck, and on the bottom of your feet so that your body absorbs it. And then you can also take all those oils internally, either in a veggie capsule, or you can just man it down like I do, which is just put a few drops in your tongue of each one. All right? So I think that's all we got today. I wanted to try to make this short and sweet. It's probably not short and sweet. It's probably like 10 or 15 minutes long. All right, if you have any questions about anything that we talked about here, please feel free to reach out to us through our main website, message us, emails, and stuff like that. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. I hope this was useful, and if it was, let us know. Thank you. Thank you for spending time with us today. For more information, visit our main website at paulctiarena.com, where you can shoot us a message and also connect with us via social media. Thank you so much.